Hello and welcome to Inside Tack with Bell Staff. I am the INEOS Team UK Rules Advisor, Matt Cornwell, and this is where we bring the live reaction from each day's racing. We're wearing the mask today because of the COVID restrictions we have here, so for the next 2 days we're going to be masked up whilst we're here in the forecourt. Got a couple of our stars with us today. We've got Leigh McMillan, our flight controller. Thank you, Leigh, for joining us. And we've got Freddie Carr with us too, who normally joins us when we've not done well. So it's a slightly better day today, and certainly the first day we've had you here when we've actually won a race. So I feel better that we've got you here today than normal.
Nice, it's a nice one.
Yeah. Guys, you know, game of two halves. How was it out there today? It sort of seemed like it was mostly about the starts. Freddie, talk us through that one a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we live and die by the forecast at the moment, and we knew that at some point today we were going to step from the sort of 9 to 11, 12 knot range to 11 to 13 knot range, and it's no secret that they're slippery in the lighter stuff.
Slippery.
So they do well in that stuff, and I think maybe race one we could have seen that, and race two was a completely different story with that 1 or 2 knots more average wind in race two. The boat felt completely different to us, so maybe that's a good reflection of the day.
Yeah, okay, great. And Leigh, as the flight controller, so in that first race, and it was quite shifty out there, wasn't it? How hard is it to keep the boat just beautifully foiling? And it looked like it was always going lovely, but you know, how much concentration does that take over a day like today?
Yeah, I mean, it is tricky. You know, in those conditions it's quite patchy, and you know, the breeze comes in and you want to respond in those kind of gusts as best you can and get the boat fully trucking, but you kind of got to weather all the lulls as well, and so it's quite a lot of transitioning and changing the setup as you go through the gusts and through the lulls to make sure that, you know, yourself and, you know, Parker on the other side and Bledden on the main, we've kind of got the setup between us right, and we're trying to get the right kind of, you know, get the boat in the right attitudes, and you know, it takes a lot of concentration, and you know, it's certainly very difficult in those lighter conditions, and come the second race and the boat just starts flowing a little bit more, and you've got a little bit more of a kind of a speed bracket. You know, the bottom speeds in the tacks and the jibes are a bit higher, and the boat just kind of keeps the speed up more consistently through the race, so it becomes a little bit easier. But yeah, it's tricky. You know, you're trying to find the best breeze on the course, and that, you know, the guys did a great job in that, and making sure we're in the kind of best possible spot to get the boat going fast, and yeah, so it came good for us in the second race.
Now so you're on port tack? You're on port side.
Port tack on the starboard side of the boat.
You're on port tack on the starboard side of the boat, and then the rest of the time you're grinding.
Or doing pitch, flying the pitch.
Or doing the pitch,
yeah.
a bit of both, yeah.
Mostly flying the pitch, because unfortunately for these guys, we don't get on the handles enough, but which just keeps Giles freed up, you know, kind of looking out and trying to make the tactical
But what
decisions.
do you find easier? Is it the concentration of doing the foiling, or actually when you turn around you have a little break from that and you're on the handles? I mean, actually, which is the more taxing, do you think?
I mean, the least concentration is winding the handles. You know, you get a chance to actually look out, and you know, when you're actually kind of grinding, you're doing a bit of the relatives on the other boat, particularly if they're to windward of us, and off the start line, that's quite nice because you kind of get to feed in the information what the other boat's doing, and kind of making sure that we're moding correctly against them to kind of squeeze them off. That's what happened in that second race. And yeah, on the pitch, you know, it still takes quite a lot of concentration, because, you know, trying to keep it super accurate in the pitch of the boat, because that affects the angle of attack over the foil that Parko's flying. So, you know, even though you're kind of, you know, it's maybe less critical, the pitch, it's still, you know, is a big part of kind of keeping the boat going fast, and so we swap between us tack to tack and doing those two roles.
Yeah.
He's got quite the look when he's doing pitch. He's got quite the look. He leans inboard and puts one arm up on the side, and he literally looks like he's cruising down the motorway. It is. You look very relaxed at those moments.
Pretty chill doing the pitch.
Are you on the same side?
We're on the starboard side, massive.
Okay, the starboard side,
Massive.
that's the best side, is it?
Got a good crew on the
We
starboard
carry the
side.
port
let's
side
see.
pretty hard.
Some of the best moments today, we'll watch some clips in a minute, but some of the best moments were on starboard tack, weren't they?
Oh, why not? Yeah, it's probably starboard side massive putting
Actually,
in.
that's when you're whining, so that's when you put the muscle in, okay. So yeah, let's have a look at those clips. We'll go to race one. it's all about the start. There was the penalties, the second penalty. That a lot went into this, didn't it? Leigh, tell us about this one. What was going on here? It was probably quite confusing for people.
Yeah, I mean, we had them not laying that red mark, and for quite a long time coming up in that pre-start. So we were gapped off up to windward and pretty happy that we were going to be able to come bow down, and they wouldn't have a gap. And so we did. It got real tight in the end, and they were actually able to kind of, they did a good job of getting up to that buoy, and we did a bit of a push to put their bow down, and then kind of slung up into the into the start line there. But there's this 2 meter perimeter around the two boats, and if they intersect, then that's considered like a collision as a safety requirement. And by all accounts, just at that moment there, we got too close as windward boat, and so we got a penalty, and it must have been a real close run thing. But unfortunately, because they had a massive stuff in trying to kind of close the gap on us, they lost a lot of speed. So we made a nice jump forward, and the umpires deemed that we'd made too much of an advantage out of that situation. So they kept on penalising us up the beat, and by the time we got to the end of that, we were just so far on the back foot. It wasn't a case that we were just a little bit behind, but had clear air. It had given them the opportunity to be right on top of us, and really hurting from that situation. So it was always going to be really difficult to get back into the race after that.
Yeah, the second one came quite late, didn't it? The second penalty, or the last penalty, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, I think they'd given us a penalty, and you could hear on the comms that Jimmy was talking to the umpires and suggesting that we had gained too much of an advantage, and that we weren't far enough behind at that point. So having cleared the first penalty, so then I don't know if that influenced their kind of decision making, but then after that, the second penalty kind of came our way, and that one took a long time to shake off. It was very difficult. By that point, Luna Rossa had got into a position where they could actually kind of stay in phase with us, which made it very difficult for us to shake the penalty, and in doing so got themselves in a position where they could just absolutely kill us once we'd cleared it. So yeah, it made it really difficult, that's for sure.
And then I guess having that boat speed, it was sort of easy for them after that, wasn't it, Freddie? Once they were ahead, they weren't going to lose that lead, were they? They were going to gain.
Yeah, they did a good job, as we saw in racing 3 and 4, that as they get ahead, they're pretty smart in shutting down the race course. So fair play to them.
Yeah. Well, the good news is they're not the only ones who can do that, and we're going to take a look at the second race right now, and this is where things have started to turn around, hopefully, but certainly did for today. Another really tight pre-start here, Freddie. I mean, bit of lead and tail, good old-fashioned match racing.
Yeah,
there.
Nice bit of fishtailing in the last 30 seconds there, and the nice thing is, head down grinding, looking at all my data there, you're living off Gov's comms. And with 25 seconds to go, when Luna Rossa went for this down here and went for the super kill, Gov said, okay, we got him here, boys, it's all about our wind up to the line, and that gives you nothing but confidence on the boat that from 25 seconds out, Gov's maximum chill, totally happy with our boat positioning. And we did a really nice wind off the line here, and the first sort of 200-300 metres of off the line, we found a nice high mode. They peeled out, and then Gov and Giles did a really good job of really good job of managing that first beat and choosing when to capitalise in from the left.
Fred, when you talk about that, the last wind up to the line there, that's you guys going full chat.
Yeah, we're going full chat. We're winding our main sheet loads up through the roof. Bleds is very dynamic on the Traveller, just finding that perfect roll moment to get the foils working perfectly. The boys on the other side of the boat are winding the jib in and getting the jib car up. So it is, the last 30 seconds is the hardest work on the race course, to be honest. But we did a really nice job of it in race 2, and you could see it paid dividends in the first 15-20 seconds of the race course. And we kind of, they built speed into us, but we also made it really hard for them. And then, as I said, Giles and the governor did a really nice job of sort of just playing the pressure up that first beat and choosing the moment when to capitalise.
Yeah, well done, because that work there, pinching them up, actually you then quite quickly forced them off. And we'll take a look at what happened then shortly afterwards. We had the lead bow tack, and it allows you to come back strong you're the giveaway boat there, but you had a nice little lead and you could plant that tack on them. You know, how difficult is it for Luna Rosa then? They've just come out of attack there, right? Am I right in that, saying that, Leigh?
Yeah, so they've tacked on, you know, kind of closer to the starboard boundary, and so coming across there, we made a nice little gain, and Giles kind of picked the spot to drop the board to get the perfect lee bow tack so that we can make it really difficult for them to accelerate, and that kind of really, you know, they had to peel off pretty quickly, and that set us up for a nice kind of fast leg across to the left, and kind of just sailed a bit of our own race from there and kind of stretched out. So it was a really nice job.
Good to see you giving them some of their own medicine. We've
exactly.
had enough of it from then, but yeah, we're turning the tide. And then we had a really close port tack cross. We'll have a look at that. Again, we are the keep clear boat. They are the right of way. Again, Freddie, this is critical, isn't it?
Yeah, and sort of Giles was very chilled out after the land and the build. He communicated quite clearly with Govs, it's close, but we're fine. And I'm grinding next to Neil Hunter, a proud Scotsman, and sort of 10 seconds after the attack, he said, "Nay bother, Freds." So I think in Scottish that means we're going to cross. So that's that. I was pretty happy with his call on that one.
Nay bother.
Nay bother.
And then you went around that right-hand mark. They had one more tack to do. That was the start of the good advantage, wasn't it? And then we've got the upwind covering, and I guess this is the difficult bit. Have a look at this, Leigh. The moments to pick when you do cover, you lose cover, you split. How was that all unfolding on board? What were the comms from Giles on all this?
So the tricky bit there is the conditions were, you know, still quite patchy. There were some good moments of breeze, but there's still some holes, and you know, we really needed to pick our moments, because if you're just covering and you're finding yourself tacking in a few holes, you can really kind of lose the distance. So the guys were very conscious of the fact that, you know, it's just not all about just kind of facing them. We've got to stay in phase, and we've got to pick the best pressure and make sure the boat's always going fast. So it's really kind of a bit of a trade-off between those two things. We slung a few tacks on them, and then when it looked like, you know, maybe we were kind of losing a bit of speed and a few of the lulls and a couple of the tacks and some of the lighter spots, we just decided to stretch our legs a bit and just kind of keep the boat rolling and kind of just, you know, try and keep, you know, in the good spots on the course.
Yeah, well played, guys. Brilliantly played. I'm so happy for you. It just feels so good to certainly finish the day. It felt like we needed to win one today, didn't it? Freddie, don't you think?
It did, Matt, and it's not where we want to be. We don't want to be 5-1 down. And as I said at the top, it feels a little bit wind speed dependent, to be honest. But we are sailing the boat well. The communication, nothing's changed. To be honest, nothing's really changed since the beginning of round robin 1 in terms of our energy and our level on the boat, and that will go into tomorrow, and that's how we'll perform. We've got a really nice balance on the boat.
Yeah. And it feels like if we can get good starts in the good breeze, we can do okay. I guess starting is a big focus going forwards. Was there much chat about that second start? Having, you know, had the slight problems in the first start, was there a bit of a game plan going into the second one?
I mean, they're very, you know, each day we have one start on starboard and one start on port, and they do, you know, they have very different kind of strategies behind them. As the port tack entry, you're picking your moment, you're out in front, you kind of got your own time, and in a way that's the entry, you know, you're kind of setting your own destiny in a way, and as a starboard tack boat, you've really got to make something happen to kind of turn it back in your favour. So, you know, that's where it gets quite tricky, and in that first race we're very close to making that happen, and you know, they kind of did a good job of closing that gap out in the end, but you know, so there wasn't a lot of chat going into the second race. I think being a completely different strategy, I think, you know, Ben and Giles, they kind of had it already pretty clear in their heads what they wanted to do, and just try and get a good, you know, clean start where we had a good chance of just kind of picking them off, and that's what they did.
Beautiful. Right, we've got some questions from people at home. Thanks again, guys. Keep sending them in. YouTube is a great place to put them. We do see the questions at the bottom of our YouTube clips, and thanks for watching. We've got Phil Mackey. Would it be better for INEOS to tack less aggressively to avoid unnecessary energy loss through the manoeuvre? As someone who's putting the energy in, Freddie, why don't you give us the answer to that one?
Do you know, it's something between the round robins, end of the round robins, which was 4 weeks ago now, to today. Training on the water has looked, we've been training against our rib, as all the other teams do, because you can't race against other teams, or obviously two-boat sail. And we've put a massive emphasis on that nice manoeuvre we saw today, like the Leigh bow tacks. That was nice to see that executed, because that's been an area of focus for us. Tacking jewels, sticking to one side of the course, and we feel like we can pay the man and keep tacking. We've got a really fit grinding squad. As we know, we sail with 6 grinders. That doesn't bother us. So, nah, man, we've got energy to burn. We're ready to go.
I love it. As I've seen you guys in the gym, and I was grinding with you guys the last Cup campaign, and I've seen the difference this one, and I can attest to the fact that you are definitely fitter and really, really in good shape. Not just you.
I've still got
you, obviously.
I've still got a dad bod.
Yeah.
Instrument, not an ornament, mate. Instrument, not an ornament.
You too, but you guys as a whole are off the chart fit. Right, Jason Crouch, how hard is it to time the Leigh bow tack? Leroy.
Well, there you go. I mean, Faye's kind of said it. We've been practicing that one with the rib quite a lot, and just there's a lot of the timing of the ball drop, getting that in really clean has a big impact on how you carry the speed through the tack. So all these things, and if you rush it because you left a little bit late, can completely ruin your chance of pulling it off. So it is, critical timing and getting that turn right and not giving away too much. So it's a difficult move to pull, but like Fred said, the practice paid off. The guys did a great job of picking that spot.
Yeah, it's not just as easy as just turning the boat, is it? Like you do in a normal yacht.
It's a whole choreography with the board down and kind of the timing of that, and kind of kind of getting the turn in and all the jibs and the rig systems all kind of coming together at the same time. So it's a big old choreography to get that right.
Yeah, like dancers. It's
yep.
Fantastic. All right. Alexa Chilton from INEOS, thank you. I know your INEOS colleagues and fans back home have been sending lots of good luck messages. Does it inspire the team knowing that fans back home are behind them all the way? I know the answer, but Freddie, take this one home.
It's unbelievable, the support back home from the INEOS family, the INEOS sports umbrella we fall under, the British sailing community, the British sporting community. It's unbelievable. Like, it's no word of a lie. The phone is lit up 24/7. And apologies if none of us can get back to you all, but you feel the support. It's a real motivating factor for everyone within the team, not just the sailing team. We really, really feel the support, and that's why we're fighting as hard as we're fighting.
Yeah, there you go. Everyone back home, just keep it coming. We know you're there. And we love the fact that you are there, and these guys are all working extremely hard for you. I know there's been some tough races to watch, some tough days, but these guys are really, really trying hard, and they're doing it for you, we're doing it for Great Britain. Let's have a look at tomorrow's racing. We've got the schedule and we've got the scoreboard. Here we go, 4:15 tomorrow is the first race. Second race 5:15, depending on how the first one finishes time-wise, but it should be 5:15. And here we have the scoreboard looking slightly better. We've chalked up our first win, but more importantly, the latest result is a win to us, and hopefully we can keep those little orange W's pinging up on the top there and keep it going. Gentlemen, how's it looking going forwards, breeze-wise? I think tomorrow's looking similar to today, slightly better.
Yeah. Holding out a bit of hope that it's going to pick up a little bit, but yeah, it's kind of in a similar region. So hopefully it'll be the upper end of what we had today, and we'll be kind of ripping along.
And then the days after that, I believe, are looking windier. Freddie, is that right?
Yeah, Monday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they're all 15 knots plus.
Okay.
So let's get through tomorrow.
Get
them in the breeze, man. See what goes on.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Really appreciate having you here. Well done today. That's given the whole team a lift, and it's probably given a lot of people back home a lift too. We all enjoy watching that one. You guys are champions for me, certainly. Thanks everyone at home for joining in, and we'll see you next time.